On the planet of the god of destruction Beerus, time flowed differently, marked by a rumble of blows and key explosions that shook the atmosphere, making the military tree shake in raging cosmic dust. Goku and Vegeta were in the middle of a high-intense sparring. The Earth-bred Saiyan kept the imperfect Ultra Instinct alive, his black hair waving violently surrounded by a silver and blue aura. Vegeta in front, enveloped in a purple fire of Ultra Ego, responded with a calculated ferocity. His body was an immovable tank that accepted every blow to return it with double the power. Faster, Vegeta! If you keep thinking so much before hitting, you'll never exceed your limit!
Shut up, insect! I'm not thinking. I'm analyzing the destruction of your defense! Ha!
Vegeta's fist connected with Goku's forearm, creating a shockwave that swept the nearby lake, sending oracle fish flying through the air. Watching from a distance, sitting on a tree trunk with tea in his hand, was Whis, his gaze calm but analytical, taking mental note of every micro movement. Next to him was Beerus trying to take a nap, covering his ears with a pillow, clearly irritated by the noise that threatened to collapse his castle.
Hey, you noisy pair! If you wake up the oracle fish with your scandal, I'll destroy you before you can say training! Hockey!
Beerus launched a small sphere of destructive energy that whizzed dangerously between the heads of the Saiyans, disintegrating a mountain in purple dust.
Whoa, that was close! Sorry, Mr. Beerus, we got a little excited about the warm-up.
Oh, I thought there was enough hand-to-hand combat for today. Let's try something different. I want to test its resilience to complex spatial distortions. Withstood, staff floating, the black gem at the top glue with a strange light, purplish hue that was unusual for the angels, pulsating like dark heart. Listen up, I'm going to create a controlled singularity. They must keep the key stable inside her. If their control falters, they will be spat out to the other side of the planet. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Whis. Let's have it. Just don't send us to another dimension by mistake like last time.
However, something strange happened. The moment Whis hit the ground with his staff to activate, a residual energy wave from Vegeta's Ultra Ego was still floating densely in the environment, colliding with the staff gem right at the moment of activation. The reaction was instantaneous and catastrophic. The sound of air breaking was deafening. No training singularity was opened. Space-time was torn apart like an old rotten fabric. A vortex of dark and chaotic colors, swirls of black and crimson swallowed the sunlight of the planet of Beerus.
The hell's that? That energy's not normal.
Oh, wow, the dimensional frequency has been reversed. Get away from there right now! Goku was closer to the vortex, but didn't have time to react. The gravity of the hole wasn't pulling in his body, but his existence, pulling in his soul to the unknown point.
I can't move! Teleportation doesn't work!
Goku-san, move away quickly, or you'll be sucked into the gap! Whis reached his hand out at the speed of light, grabbing it, but it was useless. The vortex swallowed the Saiyan at the blink of an eye, collapsing in on itself with a dull rumble that made the teeth of everyone vibrate. The rift closed, leaving a garden of Beerus in a spherical silence.
Whis, where the hell did you send that idiot?
I don't know, Mr. Beerus. The coordinate. It doesn't exist in my records. I've lost the connection with Goku completely. Goku fell, not physically, but a feeling of endless descent through the cold reality. When he finally hit the ground, there was no dust or crater. He landed on a surface that looked like black water, solid as steel but reflecting a starless sky.
That hurt more than Jiren's punches in the tournament of strength.
Goku sat up, rubbing his head and looking around. The place was desolate. No sun, just a grayish haze that emitted a faint, sickly light. Colossal structures stood at the horizon, white stone pillars broken and floating in nothingness, like ruins of a temple that would have belonged to giants forgotten by time.
Hello? Whis? Vegeta? Anyone here?
His voice had no echo. It died as soon as it left, absorbed by the oppressive atmosphere. He tried to feel someone's ki, but nothing. He couldn't even feel the ki of the Kaiotion or Beerus. He was completely isolated from the known multiverse. Great. I lost myself in a bit of a pickle again. I'm missing Durner. What seemed like days passed. The time in that place was confusing. Goku didn't feel hungry or sleepy, just a constant pressure on his chest, as if the air was made of lead. He walked through the endless black ocean, exploring the floating ruins, looking for a way out. On the third day, Goku felt something. He was not normal ki. It was a divine presence. But he felt weak, flickering like a candle about to be extinguished in the middle of a hurricane. Guided by that feeling, Goku flew towards a structure that looked like an inverted palace, floating several kilometers high. When he reached the main living room, which had no ceiling and showed the infinite emptiness, he saw it. Sitting on a throne made of fractured glass was a figure, tall, pale blue skin, dressed in clothes reminiscent of Whis or Daishinken, but robes were torn and faded, going from maroon to ash gray. The angelic halo floated around his neck, but it was cracked, dripping light particles to the ground. The being opened his eyes. They were a deep violet filled with eons of weariness. A mortal? I haven't seen one for millions of years. How did you cross the barrier of non-existence, Saiyan? Goku was paralyzed. Although being seemed on the verge of death, the pressure was immense. It was a sacred pressure, very different from the angels he knew. I'm Goku, from Universe 7. It was an accident. The staff of Whis, well, let's say there was a technical error. Who are you? Are you an angel? The being smiled faintly. He coughed and a little golden blood stained his lips. A mistake. Or maybe fate. A force that even Zeno-sama can't control. I'm Beerus, the guiding angel of Universe 15. Universe 15? But Whis told me there was only 12. And Zeno-sama deleted the other 6 a long time ago because there were too many. He erased the universes. Yes, he destroyed the gods of destruction and Chaosian as well. But angels can't be erased that easily, Goku. When Universe 15 was doomed, I made a deal. I accepted exile in this dimension, the limbo of the lost, to act as a jailer. Jailer from what? There's nothing here but ruins. Beerus pointed down to the unfathomable darkness beneath the black glass floor of the palace. Under us, the gods of the 6 forbidden universes sleep. From the 13th to the 18th, they are ancient deities, Goku. Gods who do not seek balance, but absolute dominion. Zeno-sama erased them, but their consciousness were too dense, too malevolent to disappear completely. I've used my own life force to keep the seal closed for millions of years. The angel coughed violently again. This time, the halo on his neck flickered dangerously, losing brightness. But my time is up. My light is going out. When I die, the seal will be broken. It'll be back. And this time, there will be no mercy for the remaining 12 universes. His revenge will be absolute. Goku felt a chill run down his back. The seriousness in Beerus' voice left no room for doubt. It was not an empty threat. He could feel the truth in the words. Can't you hear yourself? I have seeds from the hermit. Wait. I didn't bring them. Can I give you some of my energy? I've got lots of stamina. Beerus shook his head slowly, his gaze becoming blurred. My existence is linked to this seal. I don't have anything left, but you're here. I see in you the mark of the gods. You've touched the domain of the angels, haven't you? The ultra instinct. Yes, although I still have a hard time mastering it 100%. Sometimes I lose my concentration. It's imperfect, raw. Your container, your body, your spirit, they're resilient. You have the purity of a child and the will of a battle demon. There's no time to look for another successor. Daishinken will not arrive in time before the seal is broken. Beerus rose with much effort from the throne, body trembling, but his aura lit up for the last time. They are Goku. I offer you a choice. Stay here and watch my death release the chaos that will devour your family or friends, or you can accept my burden. Your burden? If that means protecting my universe, go on. Goten, everyone. I'll do anything. Tell me what I have to do. It's not just to protect. It's being. You must stop being a mortal who imitates the gods. You must become the law itself. Beerus staggered forward and placed his hand on Goku's chest, over his heart. It was cold but radiated infinite power. I give you my angelic essence, my divinity, my spiritual genetic code, and the key to the sacred seal. You will leave your mortal limits behind. Accept the end of your humanity, Son Goku.
Wait, what'll happen to me? I feel like I'm burning up!
You will be reborn. Then is the new holy angel.
A blinding light burst from the throne room. Not a yellow Super Saiyan light, nor the divine blue light. It was white, pure, absolute. Goku screamed. He felt every cell in his body being dismantled and rebuilt. His mortal blood boiled and was replaced by divine ichor. Their bones hardened with the density of neutron stars. Goku's mind expanded. He stopped thinking about hitting or dodging. He began to understand the energy beyond divinity. The flow of time, the breathing of the cosmos. Memories that were not his flooded his mind. The creation of stars, the birth of gods, the void before time. Beerus' body began to disintegrate into light particles that flowed directly towards Goku.
The seal. He's linked to you now, but the change has weakened the lock. Get ready, Goku. The old ones, they wake up. Goodbye, young warrior.
With those last words, Beerus, the Angel of Universe 15, disappeared, turning into stardust that was absorbed by Goku's skin. The light dissipated. In the center, Goku was standing, no longer the same Goku. His classic orange gi disappeared, replaced by ceremonial robes of unknown fabric, dark red and black with gold linings and floating shoulder pads. On his waist, the belt of the Universe 15 symbol glowed dimly. His hair grew slightly and now a permanent silvery white color, not as a temporary transformation but a natural state. Eyes silvery, visible pupils deep as infinity, lacking the nativity of before. Around the neck, sky blue halo floated, perfect and bright. Goku raised his hands and looked at them. He didn't feel the overflowing ki from before. In fact, he didn't feel power. He felt control. He felt the rotation of the dimension, like he could feel the location of his home millions of light years away. It's incredible! I can see everything! There's no barriers! The peace was short-lived. A monumental crunch echoed under his feet. Without the physical presence of Beerus maintaining the structure during the transfer, the seal had suffered a critical momentary fracture. From the black abyss under the palace, 6 columns of dark energy so dense that it looked like living mud shot from the sky of the dimension. The ground shook violently. The floating ruins began to fall to the void. Goku stared at the abyss, angelic eyes through the darkness. He saw chilled blood, his new divine state. 6 figures emerging, 6 presences radiated hatred.
Freedom, after eons of silence.
The voice sounded like the clash of tectonic plates, shattering surrounding reality. Goku gritted his teeth and instinctively summoned his staff. An angel staff materialized in his hand, similar to Whis' but with crimson details and a hidden blade at the tip. So these are the gods of the forbidden universes. Beerus entrusted me with the power. I won't let them take a step out of here. Back at Zeno-sama's palace, the High Priest Daishaken stopped in the middle of the main corridor. The usual friendly smile disappeared, replaced by concern, something never seen by the children. The whole multiverse shook, not a physical tremor, but a chill in the soul of every being. The eternal candles of the palace were extinguished. Father, what's the matter? Whis had landed, visibly upset by Goku's disappearance, but stopped when he saw his father's expression.
It's broken. The seal of Beerus is broken.
That's impossible! Beerus swore to protect it till the end of time. He would never fail his mission.
Beerus is dead. The flames extinguished from the fabrics of reality.
Daishaken stared into the void, eyes violent and shining brightly.
His divinity is transferred. I feel the birth of a new angel. The vibrations chaotic, inexperienced, but with unlimited potential. It is Goku.
Goku-san? An angel? Did he inherit the position of the extinct universe?
Yes, but the price was high, and the Guardian left the gap. 6 gods of primordial destruction are awake. They're hungry for revenge against the king altogether. Whis, get your brothers ready. War is coming.
In the distant dimension of oblivion, the new sacred angel Goku floated in front of the storm. halo shining brightly against the darkness, ready to wage the first battle of the war to threaten to consume all existence. The dimension of oblivion was no longer a place of silence, now a cauldron of spiritual pressure that would crush any mortal, and even the gods in an instant. The air vibrated with a sickening hum, the sound of reality screaming under the weight of 7 divine presences. In front of Goku, 6 columns of darkness dissipated, revealing the gods of ancient destruction. They're not like Beerus or Champa. The first to step forward was a 4-armed warrior with bluish skin. His ki felt heavy, as if the gravity of a black hole came to life. It was Ize, the destroyer of Universe 13. Beside her, a slender feminine figure made of liquid shadows and green willow fire, floated without touching the ground, Yami, the goddess of Universe 14. The other 4 remained in their gloom, eyes shining with pure malice.
An angel? No. You smell of mud and blood. You smell mortal.
Ize's voice rumbled, cracking the glass floor beneath her feet.
Boris has fallen so low, to give his divinity to an ape. You think that stolen halo will save you from us, you usurper?
Goku didn't respond, his mind processing the information at infinite speed, analyzing the micro movements of his opponents. He could see the flow of their energy, the tension points of their muscles, the intention to kill before it formed in their brains. Goku raised his staff, hidden blade at the tip shone with immaculate white light. I'm not an usurper. I'm the last line of defense, and you won't take one more step out of here. Ize let out a laugh that sounded like thunder breaking.
Defense? I've devoured entire galaxies for breakfast. Die, false angel!
Ize's speed was terrifying for her size. In the blink of an eye, disappeared and reappeared in front of Goku. Fists charged with concentrated destruction and primitive savage haki converging on his head. The impact was devastating, or so it seemed. When the dust from the explosion settled, Ize blinked, confused. Fists that had punched the empty air. Behind, floating face down, with infuriating calmness, was Goku. Slow. Ize spun, roaring, throwing a backhand with the lower left arm. Goku held his finger. The index finger stopped the fist. No shock, no shaking. The kinetic energy was of a simple blow. Died on contact. Too much unnecessary movement. Your anger makes you predictable.
You bastard!
The ancient god tried to release an explosive wave at point-blank range, but Goku was no longer there. The Saiyan angel moved through space, not flying, but gliding through the folds of reality. He appeared over Ize's shoulder. Now it's my turn. Goku turned his staff and gently tapped the back of Ize's head. He touched seemed like a caress, but the force applied was surgical. A shockwave through the giant's body, disconnecting the motor nerves for a microsecond. Ize collapsed to her knees, spitting out violet blood. Silence on the group of renegade gods again. Yami narrowed her green fire eyes. I see. It's not just brute power, it's the autonomous precision. Brothers, don't play with them. Kill him at once! The remaining 5 gods burst into motion. The black sky dimension lit with a rainbow of deadly energies. A god of appearance of an armored insect launched energy needles that melted space. Another, a lion-headed mass of muscles, roared with launching sonic waves capable of pulverizing planets. Goku found himself at the center of the hurricane of death. This is different. Before my body reacted only to dodge. Now my mind is in absolute peace. I see the trajectory. I see the future. Goku dodged the punches in such an elegant way. It was a hypnotic show. Goku turned, bent, rotated, passing millimetrically between attacks. A sphere of destruction grazed his cheek. He tilted his head 1 degree to the left. An energy beam went straight through his heart. He turned his staff, deflecting it so it hit one of the insect god's needles. The insect god squealed when his own ally hit him. They're not coordinated. They fight like hungry beasts, not like warriors. Goku landed gently on the floating pillar. He extended his left hand, palm open towards the gods. Prison of divine light! From Goku's palm, 5 rings of white light shot out. They expanded and closed around the gods, momentarily trapping them. Sealing magic! Don't insult me! Yami burned the rings with fire, freeing himself, the fastest and most cunning, while the others were fighting the rings, dissolving in the shadows, and appeared right in Goku's shadow.
I got you!
A blade of darkness emerged from Goku's shadow, pointing at his throat. For the first time, Goku's silver eyes opened a little wider. He didn't anticipate this. Yami's nature was elusive, almost non-existent. He jumped back, but the blade tore his robe, left a shallow cut on his chin. A drop of divine blood, golden and bright, fell onto the void. Yami completely materialized, licking the shadow blade.
You're bleeding. You can die.
Goku touched the wound. He looked at the blood on his finger. A smile, the old smile of a Saiyan challenged. Crossing his serene face, broke the angel's mask for a second.
Heh, you got a point. I ain't perfect yet, but it makes it more fun.
Goku's aura changed. The blue halo on his neck shone more brightly. A second layer of aura. This time the crimson red of the Super Saiyan God was subtly mixed with angelic white.
Whis always told me not to mix transformations with the angelic state. There's 6 of you and I'm 1. Time to break the rules to keep order.
Goku disappeared. This time, there's no sound of movement. Yami opened her eyes in terror. Couldn't feel it, wasn't in space or time.
Revelation blow!
Goku's first hit Yami's stomach. It wasn't a physical blow. It went through the shadow form and hit his real core. Yami vomited pure light. The punch injectifying purified energy directly to the corrupted self.
Ugh! Burning! It's burning me inside!
Yami shot out backwards, crashing into Ize, who was barely getting up. Both gods rolled into the glass floor, creating a trench of destruction. The other 4 gods hesitated. Fear, an emotion that they hadn't felt in eons, seeped into their dark hearts.
What is he?
It's an anomaly.
Goku floated in the center of the chaos, turned his staff and slammed into the ground. The sound rang like a funeral bell.
Round 2. Who's next?
But then something happened. The air in the dimension cracked. Not because of the fight, because of the presence that was unleashed. The seal of Beerus that protected was now linked to Goku, was suffering. Goku felt a sharp pain in his chest, right where Beerus had touched him.
The seal! The dimension can't stand my power combined with theirs.
Ize, recovering, noticed his hesitation, saw the white cracks in the sky, revealing glimpses of stars. Glimpses of Universe 7. Ize smiled, mouth full of blood.
Look, brothers, the sky's breaking. The way home is open.
Goku looked up in horror. The cracks showed outer space. I could feel the ki of Beerus, Gohan, Piccolo. They were on the other side of the glass. The 6 gods, understanding the plan, instantly ignored Goku. They charged their devastating attacks not on him, but the cracks in the sky.
No!
Goku threw himself up, trying to intercept.
Final haki.
Flame from the void.
6 beams of apocalyptic energy shot towards the dimensional rift. Goku got in the way of the trajectory. He couldn't let that touch the universe. He let go of his staff, which remained floating, and brought his hands to the side.
Nay! Nay!
The energy sphere in his hands were not blue. It was a swirling mixture of silver and red. Goku's divine Kamehameha collided with the 6 combined attacks. The impact was blinding. The light devoured everything. No sound, only an absolute whiteness that erased vision, touch, and the sense of orientation. Goku screamed, pushing everything he had. He felt how his skin was burning, how the new divinity was being tested to the absolute limit. He was containing the force of 6 universes of hatred, but it was too much, even for a novice angel. The explosion didn't destroy the dimension. He did something worse. He pierced it. The crack opened, like a wound in the fabric of reality, and through it, the force of the explosion sucked everything in.
Damn it!
Goku was dragged into the rift. He tried to cling to the fabric of space, but the suction was unstoppable. He watched as Ize, Yami, and the others were dragged, laughing manically as they crossed the threshold. The planet of the god of destruction Beerus was silent. The crater left by Goku and Vegeta's previous training was still smoking, but the tension in the air was denser than the dust around. Vegeta was standing idly, leaning on a tree, tapping the ground with his foot. His frown was furrowed not out of anger, but out of restlessness that he rarely admitted.
That asshole from Kakarot has been missing for 3 days. Whis, can't you track him down?
Whis, who was seeing the sphere of his staff with an indecipherable expression, shook his head. There's no trace of your key signature in any of the 12 universes, Vegeta-san. It's as if you ceased to exist. Beerus, who was pretending to eat a grape with disinterest, stopped his hand halfway, ears twitched.
Something's coming, and it's not a friendly visit.
The planet's sky distorted. Not a graceful arrival of an angel, the space opened up and a figure came out fired, enveloped with flames, crashing to the main lake of the planet. The impact vaporized the water, creating a vapor that reached the stratosphere.
It's him!
Vegeta shot out into the crater, followed by Whis and Beerus. Upon arrival, the steam dissipated, revealing a kneeling figure in the boiling mud in the dry lake bottom. His clothing was in tatters, revealing an unknown ceremonial armor underneath. It wasn't clothes that froze Vegeta's blood. It was the sky blue halo that floated, broken and flickering over his neck. And the hair? Silver, ethereal, defying gravity without the need for aura.
Kakarot, the hell you done yourself?
Goku raised his head, face covered in cuts that didn't bleed red but a golden shiny ichor. His silver eyes, filled with innocence of combat, now reflected the weight of dead galaxies. Vegeta! Whis! Goku tried to stand, but his legs failed. He fell again, but he touched the ground. Whis' staff stopped him, levitating him. Mr. Beerus, look at this. Whis' face was brought closer to Goku's, examining the wounds of the serious clinicalness. He was touched into a broken halo with the tip of his finger. The halo reacted with a violent spark.
That energy, it's from an angel, but it feels ancient, stale. Whis, what does this mean? Did he steal the energy from a divine assistant?
Goku coughed, spitting out golden blood.
I didn't steal anything. Boros, the Universe 15, gave it to me to keep the seal.
The mention of Universe 15 made Beerus step back. Eyes opened wide, the god of destruction who rarely showed fear was pale.
The 15th? That's impossible. Those universes were erased from existence. If Zeno finds out what you've been digging through in the cosmic garbage, he'll delete us.
Calm down, Mr. Beerus. We have to stabilize him first. Your mortal body is rejecting the essence. It's trying to put an ocean in a glass of water. It's breaking from the inside. Whis struck the ground with his staff. A healing green light enveloped Goku. Temporary restoration. The wounds began to close. Color to his face and eyes still silver. The halo steadied, ceasing to blink, and slowly rotated with a harmonious humming sound. Goku took a deep breath, air filling his lungs. Thank you, Whis. That was close.
Explain yourself. What is that shape? Why do you have a halo, and why does your keel feel alien?
Goku sat down, floating in the air thanks to his nature. He looked at his hands, where his skin seemed to glow with its own light. I was sent to the dimension of oblivion. There was Beerus, the last angel of the forbidden universes. He died, Vegeta. To prevent the 6 ancient destruction gods from escaping, he gave me his power. I'm the new guardian. And you failed, didn't you? Whis' voice was not accusatory. He was stating a fact. Goku lowered his gaze, clenching his fists. There were too many. Ize, Yami, they're monsters. Whis, they don't fight for honor or fun. They fight to annihilate. They broke the barrier I tried to restrain them with. They're here, in our universe. Beerus put his hands in his head, pulling his long ears.
We're dead. Dead and gone.
6 roads gods of destruction loosed in my universe. And a mortal turned into a false angel.
Daishenkin's going to...
Before Beerus could finish, the sky darkened. Not night, it was an artificial shadow that covered the hemisphere. An immense pressure, greater than that of a god or an angel, was present, descending. Vegeta fell, unbearable to bear the spiritual weight. Beerus trembled. In the sky, a holographic image was projected. It was the High Priest, Daishenkin. He didn't have his usual kind smile. His face was of absolute coldness. Eyes shone with white light that judged every atom of the cosmos.
Attention all guardian angels and gods of destruction of the 12 universes.
The voice was not only on the planet, but in the minds of everyone present.
The Omega level break has been detected in the structure of reality. The seal of the Forbidden Universes was violated. 6 entities of mass destruction have re-entered the existential plane. Goku looked up, seeing the hologram's gaze. He knew what was coming. In addition, an even more serious anomaly is detected. Unauthorized transfer of angelic divinity to a mortal vessel. Daishoken's eyes focused on Goku despite the projection. Son Goku of Universe 7, accepting the essence of Boros without the sanction of the king at all, you have violated the supreme law of hierarchy. Your existence is an aberration, a bug in the system threatening to the stability of the remaining angels.
Father, he had no choice. It was to protect the seal. Daishoken ignored his son. His voice turned metallic, final.
By the authority vested in me, Zeno-sama, I decree the following. The state of multiversal purge is declared. The 6 old gods must be eliminated.
Goku felt hope. If the angels helped, they could stop Izei and the others.
And the target known as Son Goku, now fallen angel, must be captured for divinity extraction and subsequent erasure.
The silence of that statement was absolute.
Delete? What? Any god or angel who helps this anomaly will be considered a traitor and will suffer the same fate. Whis, as the guide of Universe 7, your duty is to stop him right now. You have 10 seconds.
The projection was waiting. Whis lowered his staff, looking at Goku. For the first time, Whis' hand was shaking imperceptibly. Beerus was paralyzed, breaking out in a cold sweat. If they attacked Goku, they lost their best warrior and friend. If they didn't, they were traitors. Goku stood, halo shone brightly. He understood the situation instantly. He couldn't put his friends in that position. Whis, Mr. Beerus, don't move. Goku raised his hand, not to attack but to say goodbye. Thank you for healing me, but it seems that this is my fight. Goku-san, if you leave, all the angels of the 12 universes will come for you. Vados, Margarita, Korn, everyone. You can't fight them and the old gods at the same time. Goku smiled. A sad but unshakable confidence characterized him. Maybe, but I'm the only one who knows Izei and Yami's key. I'm the only one who can track them down before they destroy everything. Goku looked at Vegeta. Take care of Earth, Vegeta, and don't let Gohan skip his workouts.
Kakarot, wait! Don't be an idiot! 5 seconds.
Goku closed his eyes, his body glue with an intense light, preparing for galactic scale teleportation. Celestial teleportation. He used it from the ancient angels powered by their angelic energy. Just as Whis lifted his staff, bound by his father's order, Goku disappeared in a flash of white light, leaving an echo of his voice. Daishoken's projection faded, the last order in the air.
The hunt has begun. Let there be nothing left of the anomaly.
Beerus fell down, sitting on the floor, breathing heavily.
He's gone. That crazy bastard's gone to fight the whole multiverse by himself.
Vegeta hit the ground, cracking the crust of the planet.
Damn it! It's always the center of the attention.
Whis looked at the sky, where Goku's steel was faintly glowing. This is bad, Beerus. Very bad. My father won't stop at Goku. Although he is an angel, thinks he's immortal. That will be his downfall, or his salvation. In this vacuum of space, far from any star, Goku reappeared, alone, persecuted by heaven and hell. Very well, I have to find those 6 first before Daishoken finds me. He closed his eyes and expanded his senses. He ignored the key of the angels who were already beginning to move in the other universes. He sought darkness and searched the void. He found it. A signal of pure terror from the northern sector of Universe 7. I found you, Izei. He clenched his staff and shot out of the cosmos. A lone shooting star in the darkest night of the universe had ever seen. A flash move at unreal speed over the cosmos. Goku managed to feel the power of Izei moving at a masterful speed. Goku was flying, not to use ki to propel, but fell forward by manipulating the gravity of the universe. His mind was fixed on a distant signal, a stain of pure evil in the northern sector. Izei. It's close. If Izei gets to an inhabited system before me, millions will die in seconds. I can't stop. I can't. Suddenly the universe in front of him was bent. not a wall of energy, as if the space itself had decided there was no way forward. Goku braked in his tracks, skidding over nothing as if his staff created white sparks against the void. What? Two pillars of light from the cosmic sky, a green emerald one, elegant and flowing, an electric violet, sharp and vibrant. The lights condensed, an invisible barrier solidified the perfect cube of dimensional insulation. Goku was trapped. In front, floating with grace of a movement similar to art, two familiar figures appeared. Well, well. Goku, always in a hurry. You should know that running in the corridors of the universe is rude. And running away from a decree of the High Priest is more than bad manners, little Saiyan. It's suicide. Goku clenched his staff. A blue halo buzzed, reacting to the presence of two full-range angels. Vados, Margarita, I don't have time for this. Ize's gonna destroy the northern solar system. Let me through. Margarita giggled, her eyes not smiling. She twirled two pigtails which glowed with pent-up destructive energy. You still don't get it. You're not the funny mortal who used to entertain us in tournaments anymore. To my dad, you're a virus, and we are the cure. Please, Goku-san, surrender peacefully. If we fight, we'll have to hurt you. And even if you possess the essence of Boros, you are still a child in angelic terms. You can't win. Goku lowered his head, silver bangs over the eyes. All right, I'm not an angel. I wasn't born in the palace of Zeno. I don't have millions of years of training. Goku's aura exploded. Not a pure white calm of the angels, a storm. White mixed with streaks of Saiyan fury, blue flashes of his divine past. But that means I don't have to fight like you guys. He disappeared, not using the angel speed. He used the celestial teleportation, empowered by his new nature. He instantly appeared behind Margarita, staff raised like a baseball bat, not like a holy spear. What? Margarita reacted by instinct, raising her staff to block. The impact sent a shockwave that cracked the walls of the dimensional cube. Margarita was pushed down, surprised by the brute force of the blow. The angels didn't hit like that. The angels flowed. Goku was hitting. Awesome, but careless. Vados appeared by his side, movement so fluid it seemed that he had always been there. His staff drew a perfect arc towards his ribs. Goku tried to dodge using Ultra Instinct, but his body moved by itself. Vados also used Ultra Instinct, and his was perfect. Vados' staff connected. Ah! Goku shot out sideways, spitting gold saliva. He recovered in the air, spinning on himself. Vados was there, throwing a lunge at the center of his chest to disable his ki. I can't bear the technique. She taught me more. She knows my body's going to do before I do it. The tip of the staff was millimeters from his chest. Now do something stupid. Goku dropped his staff. Vados blinked, confused. Disarming in the middle of a deadly attack? Goku took advantage of that. Instead of blocking or dodging, he threw himself into the attack. The tip of the staff grazed his shoulder, cutting his fabric of divine skin, but Goku passed by the perfect Vados guard. Goku caught Vados' wrist with his bare hand. Goku-san? I'm sorry, Vados. Reverse Kamehameha! Goku, holding Vados' wrist to anchor her, launched a kick with both legs towards the angel's stomach, shooting a burst of energy from her feet. Prism Shield! Vados created a barrier of light between his body and Goku's feet just in time. The explosion separated them. Vados retreated into space, straightening her dress, visibly disheveled. Wow, that was unorthodox? Margarita behind Goku, face no longer showed mockery but a lethal concentration. Enough of the games! Judgment of the 11! Margarita launched 12 orbs of violet energy that surrounded Goku. They were firing conferment lasers at the speed that exceed conscious reaction time. Damn it! Goku started dancing between the lasers. Body moved by itself, dodging threads of light that could cut planets. There were too many. A laser grazed his leg, another arm, another cheek. Give up, you're cornered! Goku, bleeding and panting, closed his eyes in the middle of the storm of lasers. Boros, you said that to be an angel is to be the law. I'm not the law. I'm a Saiyan, and Saiyans break the boundaries. Goku opened his eyes. Silver pupils contracted. Kaioken 420! Goku's angelic white aura was dyed a violet crimson red, mixing the energies of something forbidden. something heretical. Goku's body creaked under the pressure of mixing the calm of the angel and the explosive fury of the Kaioken.
Goku, stop! Your body's going to explode! Angelic energy is not compatible with mortal power-ups!
I don't care! If I have to break down the universe, I'll be it! Goku roared, shockwave of red and white ki around Margarita's orbs as if they were a cheap crystal. He rushed against Margarita, faster, much faster than an angel at rest. Margarita tried to block, but Goku broke her defense. He didn't hit her. He passed by her, clutching her angelic staff as he passed.
Across the air!
Goku spun in the air, now holding two stabs, his and Margarita's. Two swords technique. Tornado of the Divine Dragon! Goku started spinning like a whirlwind. The two stabs created a vortex. The space in the cube was distorted. Margarita, take cover! Goku's tornado hit the angels. It wasn't an attack to hurt, it was a massive thrust attack. Unstoppable centrifugal force. Vados and Margarita were swept by the vortex, spinning uncontrollably. Halos destabilized by Goku's chaotic mix of ki. Goku saw the opening. The confinement bucket had cracked in the internal pressure. Now! Goku threw Margarita's staff towards Vados, forcing her to stop her to catch her sister's weapon and prevent it from getting lost in the void. The second distraction was all he needed. Goku pointed his fingers towards the crack. Dimensional transmission! With a sonic boom, Goku compressed a point of light and burst through the crack, exiting and re-entering normal space at superluminal speed. Inside the cube, the tornado dissipated. Vados caught Margarita's staff and floated in the silence, looking at the place where Goku had been. Margarita came up, furiously arranging her hair.
That insolent one! He stole my crosshair! He used a suicide technique just to push us!
Vados looked into the darkness, towards where Goku fled. A small, almost imperceptible smile crossed her lips. Kaioken on the angelic basis. Crazy. Body teared up every second she keeps that shape.
Father will not be happy. We failed.
We didn't fail, sister. Simply we were overcome by unpredictability. We angels are perfect, and that's why we're predictable. Goku is chaos. And maybe, just maybe, chaos is what could stop the ancient gods. Margarita snorted, taking her crosshair back.
Whatever. I won't be so nice next time.
But look. Margarita pointed to the small trail of energy that Goku had left deliberately. It wasn't a key leak, it was a message written in the language of the gods. Vados read it. Sorry for the push. I owe them an ice cream when it's over. Vados let out a laugh. Typical him. Come on, Margarita. We must inform the High Priest. I suspect we will forget to mention where exactly he went. Margarita looked out on the corner of her eye and sighed. Just because he owes me ice cream. Let's go. Light years away, Goku fell out of hyperspace. Fell on an icy asteroid rolling on the ground. Transformation was undone. Kaioken disappeared. Halo flickered violently, almost out. Goku vomited golden blood, his arms shaking with uncontrollable spasms. It was too much. Vados was right. My body, it's like breaking into pieces. He looked at his hand. She was becoming translucent, disappearing. He was losing his physical existence. No, not yet. Hang in there. Goku concentrated with his mind, forcing the essence of Beerus to stabilize. Slowly, his hand returned to normal. He stood up, using his staff as a crutch. In front, a shining like a jewel in the dark, was the Glacier Planet, a peaceful world famous for its cities of ice and crystal. But something was wrong. The planet's atmosphere was not blue and white. It was turning gray. Unnatural storm clouds covered the continents. Goku felt the ki. It was heavy, old, hungry. Easy. He's already there. Goku wiped the blood from his mouth. His gaze hardened. Pain in his body took a back seat. I'm coming for you. Goku jumped off the asteroid, turning to the white comet once again, descending into the atmosphere of the doomed planet, ready to face the first of 6 terrors. The Glacier Planet, once a blue and white jewel in the cosmos, now looked like a frozen hell. The crystal cities, famous throughout the northern galaxy, were reduced to shards raining down from the gray sky. At the center, a crater the size of a continent was smoking. There was Ise, the god of destruction of Universe 13. His gray stone skin vibrated with ancient power, and shockwaves emanated from his arms that disintegrated icebergs just by brushing against them.
More! I need more destruction to get rid of the rust of millions of years.
Suddenly, the leaden sky split in two. A comet of immaculate white light swooped down, crashing directly on Ise's chest with the force of a divine meteorite. The shockwave of the impact swept the clouds at a planetary level. Ise shot out backwards, crossing 3 ice ridges before digging his 4 claws into the ground to break. When the snow dust dissipated, the figure of Goku emerged. His ceremonial robe fluttered in the icy wind. Silver hair sparkled, staff rested on his right hand. But his breathing was labored. The wounds of his combat against Fords and Marcerita still throbbed. "You've caused enough trouble, Ise. Your tantrum ends here." Ise stood up, shaking the debris off the skin. A sadistic smile crossed that monstrous face.
"The false angel. You survived the Daishinken. Impressive for a mortal. Your light's flickering, ape. You're bleeding."
"Bleeding means I'm still alive, and as long as I breathe, you will not destroy this universe." Goku disappeared. There was no starting sound, simply erased from visual existence. Ise roared, his 4 arms lighting up with a black and reddish energy. He launched hundreds of punches into the void, creating vacuum spheres that imploded the air.
"Where are you?"
Up! Goku appeared right over Ise's head, turned the body to a perfect twist and descended with a heel of angelic light. Ise crossed the upper 2 arms to block. A crash generated a blinding flash. The ground below Ise instantly sank hundreds of meters, creating a perfect basin. The pressure was so immense that the air around him turned into incandescent plasma.
Ah! Ridiculous strength.
Ise used the 2 lower arms to counterattack, throwing hooks straight at Goku's ribs. But Goku's body, guided by ultra-angelic instinct, flowed like water. He slipped millimetrically between Ise's fists, rested the tip of his staff on the giant's chest, and propelled himself backwards. Cut of the sacred wind! Goku drew a horizontal arc with his staff. A sheet of white light, thin as an atom but sharp as a collapsing galaxy, shot out. Ise tried to dodge, but the light cut one of his obsidian horns and tore his shoulder, spilling thick purple blood on the ice.
"Damn insect! I'm gonna turn you into stardust! Cannon of the primordial ruin!"
Ise opened his jaws. A sphere of black energy, dense and heavy, formed in his throat. It was not normal lightning. It was a conceptual attack that erased matter of reality. Goku lowered his staff and collapsed his wrists together on the right. My body is on the limit. If I fail, the whole planet will disappear. Ka-me-ah-me! The energy in Goku's hands were not traditional blue or red, an absolute white, so pure it hurt to look at it. Ise shot. The canyon of ruin roared, devouring the light of the planet in its wake. Ha! The angelic Kamehameha collided with Ise's attack halfway through. The impact generated no sound, but a deafening void. The 2 energies were fighting for dominance. The white man pushed on the black, then the black devoured the white. Goku gritted his teeth. The veins in his arms were about to burst under his skin. He was gaining. Inch by inch, the white light was starting to push back Ise's darkness. Millions of years after the battle, Frieza was watching the main screen on his ship. The cosmic radar was showing energy fluctuations that exceeded anything recorded in their databases. Ho ho ho! It seems that our beloved Goku has found a new toy. That energy is fascinating, almost divine, but much more violent than that of the useless Beerus. Suddenly the temperature of the command room was 0. The lights flickered. Frieza's soldiers fell to their knees, suffocating for no reason. The shadows in the corners of the room began to lengthen and twist, converging in the center. Out of the darkness, a female figure wrapped in green fire, and it was Yami, the goddess of Universe 14.
Who dares to interrupt my moment of reflection? Soldiers, kill her!
The soldiers fired their blasters, but the laser beams went through Yami like smoke. Yami let out a chilling giggle. With a simple snap of the fingers, the 20 soldiers in the room were ash. Frieza erased his smile. Her killer instinct kicked in. In a blink of an eye, he passed into his black Frieza form.
Interesting magic trick, but you don't impress me.
Frieza lunged forward, throwing a punch straight at Yami's face. The blow was loaded with enough power to split the sun in two, but Frieza's fist stopped a millimeter from Yami's nose. An invisible barrier, cold and ancient, blocked him. Frieza broke out in cold sweat. He couldn't even move his arm to back up. You're strong for a modern insect, but you're more than just that. Just an insect. Put down your fist, Emperor. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to propose a business. Frieza withdrew his arm, rubbing his aching wrist, but maintained his dark transformation.
A business? Talk fast. My patience is as short as my natural height.
Yami floated around Frieza, examining him. You're Frieza. I see the evil in your heart. Pure, selfish. It is perfect. Goku, that ape you hate, has just inherited the power of an angel. He's fighting my brother Ize right now.
Goku? An angel? That damn Saiyan's always finding ways to outdo me.
Daishoken has ordered his death. The whole multiverse is against him, but Goku is stubborn and powerful. If he defeats Ize, he will come for me. I cannot allow it. I'm offering you a deal, Frieza. Frieza narrowed his eyes.
I'm listening.
Yami raised her hand. In the palm, a small orb of energy floated. Not white, not green. A deep sickly purple, a color that evoked nightmares and power. I offer you the dark grace, a fraction of my divine essence mixed with the darkness of emptiness. I will grant you a higher power than the gods of destruction. In return, you will be my sword. Together, we will not only kill Goku, we will overthrow the king altogether and rule the ruins of the 12 universes. Frieza looked at the purple orb. The desire for power, the hatred towards Goku, and the ambition to rule over Zeno-sama clouded any rational judgment.
To rule over the gods. Ho ho ho! I accept your offer, Shadow. Give it to me!
Yami sank the purple orb directly into Frieza's chest. The evil emperor fell to his knees, screaming as his body convulsed. The black Frieza form mutated. The black color of his bio-armor was mixed with streaks of radiant, intense purple. His eyes, completely white without pupils. And the scariest thing, a jagged black halo over his head. Dark Angel Frieza was born.
His power, it's intoxicating. I could feel like I could crush the galaxy with 2 fingers.
Yami smiled, dissolving into the shadows. Come, Emperor. We have an ape to sacrifice. Back to the glacier planet, Goku was about to win. The angelic Kamehameha was finally surpassing Ize's cannon. The white light was a meter away from consuming the rocky god. It's over, Frieza! No! Suddenly, Goku's divine instinct screamed in alarm. A shiver ran down his spine. Something coming through his blind spot from outer space. It wasn't flying, it teleported directly to his back. Before Goku could turn or cancel the frontal attack, a beam of energy from a deep and sickly purple, thin as a needle but lethal as a supernova, pierced his right shoulder. Gah! The pain was indescribable. Not physical damage. Purple energy seemed to rot the divine ichor in his veins. The pain disconcerted Goku and his Kamehameha was instantly outdone. Taking advantage of the opening, Ize threw a brutal punch at Goku's face, sending him violently crashing into a mountain of ice, which collapsed on him. Goku lay under the rubble, halo flickering faintly, golden blood gushing from his pierced shoulder. He looked up, panting. Floating in the gray sky next to the imposing Ize was a familiar figure, wrapped in a nightmare. Frieza's dark and purple aura distorted the space around him. His black halo was spinning menacingly.
Ho ho ho! Long time no see, Goku. You look bad. Do you like my new look? I call it absolute desperation.
Frieza, what have you done to yourself? What is this dirty energy? The shadows behind Frieza solidified, revealing Yami. He's my new champion, Goku. You look tired. Do you think you could stand against the god of brute force destruction, the goddess of shadows, and your worst nightmare powered by forbidden energy? At the same time, Goku spat blood on the snow. He was surrounded, his body failing from the abuse of the previous Kaioken, and now he was facing 3 deadly deities. Frieza pointed his index finger at Goku. A purple spark flashed at the tip.
You escaped me last time, Ape, but today I will erase your existence from the pages of history. Die, you false angel!
Frieza fired an incessant burst of purple death rays. Ize jumped into the air to crush Goku from above, and Yami disappeared into the shadows to stab him in the back. The triple attack was inevitable, death coming down from every angle. Goku closed his eyes and clutched his staff. The white aura erupted in a last, desperate attempt at defense, illuminating the glacier planet before the impending catastrophic crash. The impact was a cataclysm that defied moral comprehension. 3 forces of absolute annihilation converged on a single point: Son Goku's exhausted body. Frieza's deadly dark purple death rays pierced his chest. Ize's 4 stone fists crushed him against the planet's bedrock, and Yami's shadow scythe slashed his back, attempting to mow down his soul. The glacier planet did not explode immediately. Instead, it momentarily imploded. The light went out, and the sound ceased to exist, and for a microsecond, that sector of the universe turned into a black hole of despair. Then the shockwave was unleashed. The planet's crust shattered, sending entire continents of ice and crystal floating into the stratosphere. Floating above the storm of debris, Frieza was laughing out loud. His new black halo buzzed, feeding off the purple energy radiating from his body.
Ho 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 ho! Finally, after so many years of humiliations, Son Goku has been reduced to stardust. Did you see that? There's not even an atom left of the ape.
It was too easy. The essence of Beerus was wasted in a fragile container. Now, the multiverse is your playground. Yami emerged from the shadows, floating on ice, licking her black lips. Don't celebrate so fast. The angels of the High Priest will feel the disturbance. We must move and get our remaining brothers back.
Let them come. With this purple dark grace running through my veins, I will make that guy Whis kneel before me.
While the 3 villains were planning their domination, something was happening on the plane that they could not perceive. Goku didn't feel any pain. No cold, nothing. He opened his eyes, not on the glacial planet or the other world of Enma-Dao. He was floating in an ocean of infinite whiteness, a luminous void that stretched without the horizon. Am I dead? One more time. Wow, Milk's gonna kill me if he finds out I let myself get beat like that. You're not dead, Son Goku, but your mortal existence is about to fade away. Goku turned on himself. In front, walking on the white light, was Beerus, the ancient angel of Universe 15 beside him. Blurred shadows of other haloed beings watched in silence, the echoes of angels who had perished before time itself. Beerus, I'm sorry. I failed. I mixed my Kaioken with your power. I wanted to protect the universe, but my body couldn't take it. Beerus shook his head gently. There's no disappointment, just an infinite patience. That was your mistake, Goku. You fought like a mortal. I had to! It was 3-on-1! If I didn't use my strength, I would have been crushed! Mortals use force to push the world. They accumulate ki, tense their muscles, scream to impose their will on matter. But we angels don't push the world, Goku. We are the world. Beerus raised a hand. A white feather appeared in the palm. The true Ultra Instinct is not a technique to dodge blows. It's a state of absolute surrender. You can't contain the ocean in a glass crystal, Goku. You have to break the glass. You need to stop being Son Goku, the fighting Saiyan. You must become the void that allows creation to exist. Goku looked at his hands. They were blinking, fading into the white light. Stop being me. If I become the void, will I forget my friends? Will I forget my desire to fight? You won't forget. You will transcend. The love for your universe, your passion for combat, all that is fire. The fire burns and goes out. I offer you to become the space where all the stars burn. Accept the silence, Goku. Let the law of the universe breathe through you. Goku closed his eyes. He remembered Ize's punches. He remembered Frieza's purple hatred. He remembered the training with Whis, the words of Beerus. don't think I just know. Break the glass. I understand. There's no need to strain the muscles. There is no need to scream anymore. Goku relaxed his shoulders. He let go of the fear of losing. He let go of the fury towards Frieza. He let go of the desperation to save everyone. His breathing stopped. The beating of his heart, previously deafening like war drums, was silenced. Boros smiled, dissolving into the light. Wake up, Holy Angel. Write the new law. Meanwhile, outside the real world, Frieza was bragging, shooting purple energy spheres at the planet's remains for fun.
What a bore! I was hoping the Air Force Angel would give me more battle!
Suddenly, Frieza's attack stopped in midair. The purple energy spheres didn't explode, they froze, floating unarmed in the gray space.
What the hell? Did you do that, Yami?
No, the air! It's not longer moving. The time, it's slowing down. A sound began to emanate from the smoking crater below them. It wasn't an explosion, it was a continuous musical note, a harmonic hum that made the soul of the three dark gods vibrate. A pillar of white light, thin but infinitely dense, broke the debris and shot through the cosmos, splitting the gray clouds and revealing the stars. The light wasn't blinding, it was reassuring. But for beings made of evil, the tranquility was more of absolute terror.
Impossible! I saw him die! I pierced his heart!
The light dissipated gently, and there, floating in the air without emanating the slightest disturbance in the atmosphere, was Goku. But it was different. His robe was intact, repaired by the same reality. Hair, silver, grown to the height of the shoulder blades, waving laddingly without any wind. His aura completely disappeared. No white fire around him. And his eyes, they were pools of liquid silver, no pupils, no mortal emotions, reflecting entire galaxies. Sky blue halos spinning with majestic slowness. Goku had reached the perfect angel.
A trick of lights. I'll kill you again, insect.
Ize lunged at Goku with brutal speed, 4 arms with pure Haki energy. He threw a punch capable of erasing a solar system at Goku's face. Goku didn't move. He didn't blink. Ize's giant fist hit and went through it. Ize stumbled, looking at his arm confused. He hadn't struck an illusion. Goku was there, but Ize's strike found no mass, no intention, no existence.
What rich craft is this?
Goku spoke, a voice not so loud, but it resonated in the heads of Frieza, Ize, and Yami simultaneously, with the authority of an entire universe. Your instincts are calibrated to attack an enemy, but you can't fight empty space, Ize. Ize roared and threw hundreds of punches. Goku walked forward. The ancient god's fist pierced through Goku's body as if it was a hologram, but Goku's feet touched the air. The space creaked under his immense passive pressure.
Get out of the way, you rock sack! Let me show you true power!
Frieza raised his dark ki to the max. Sky, dark purple.
Rain from the Dark Empress!
Thousands of purple energy needles, each charged with Yami's dark grace, rained on Goku at the speed of light. It was an insurmountable attack. Goku raised a hand and snapped his fingers. The sound was crisp and clear. Instantly, thousands of deadly purple energy needles did not explode or deviate. They transformed. Upon entering the radius of Goku's presence, the evil was purified. The deadly needles turned into millions of luminous purple butterflies and cherry blossoms that rained harmlessly on Goku's shoulders and vanished into thin air.
What? He turned my annihilating energy into insects? That's absurd!
Your power remains, Frieza, but creation adds up indefinitely. You can't empty an ocean without a leaky bucket. Yami understood the threat before the others. He dissolved into shadows and tried to possess Goku's shadow as he'd done in the exiled dimension.
I'll rot you from the inside.
But when he touched Goku's shadow, Yami screamed, a heart-rending scream that chilled Ize's blood.
Ugh, it's burning, and light has no shadow.
Yami spat out violently. Green smoke bodied, burning with white flames. He fell to the ground, writhing in pain. Goku descended until he was in front of Frieza and Ize. The time of the renegade gods is over. I won't destroy them with my fists. I'll take them out of the equation. Goku extended 2 arms. A sphere of light the size of a marble appeared on his chest. Stellar purification. The light didn't burst. It spread like a silent tide. When the light touched Ize, the stone giant froze. Arms by the side turned into dust, and legs and torso. He felt no pain, just a lethargic peace that had been forgotten eons ago.
So, this is it. The real ending.
Ize disintegrated into cosmic dust and disappeared from existence. The light caught up with Frieza. The evil emperor tried to resist, creating dark energy barriers, but the white light dissolved them like cobwebs.
No, I'm the Emperor! I rule!
The white light entered through his eyes and mouth. The black halo above Frieza's head cracked and exploded into pieces. The dark grace was forcibly torn from his body, purified on the spot. Frieza fell to his knees on the ice floor, returning to his base form, spitting blood, completely exhausted and stripped of the power of the old gods. Yami, seriously injured, managed to open a dimensional portal by tearing the fabric of space with her last strength. "It's not over, fake angel. My brothers, they will destroy you." Yami jumped into the portal before the light reached her, running away like a frightened animal. Goku lowered his arms. The ruined planet was completely silent. Only Frieza's agitated and pathetic breathing could be heard. Goku looked at the defeated tyrant. No longer the Saiyan urge to finish him off, nor the anger over his atrocities. He felt the cold objectivity of a deity. "Go away, Frieza. Your darkness is irrelevant now." Goku turned around, cape billowing. He had won this battle by a landslide, but light years away in Zeno-sama's palace, Daishinkan opened his eyes wide. He felt the stellar purification. He felt the birth of a being who, in his purification, rivaled the very authority of the angelic hierarchy.
An anomaly that dominates the law. This is no longer a simple hunt. It's an insurrection.
The fabric of space-time tore with a nauseating sound at the darkest reaches of the multiverse, a place known as the Infinity Pit, where starlight died before it was born. From the dimensional gap fell Yami, the goddess of shadows. A green fire body flickered faintly, extinguished by Goku's purifying light. He coughed up black smoke and crawled on the obsidian floor. In front, 4 colossi watched her in a spherical silence. They were the gods of destruction from the Forbidden Universes. In the center, Chaos, the destroyer of Universe 16. She had no defined physical body. She was an amalgam of humanoid antimatter, enveloped in a flaming aura of purple color so intense and toxic that it melted reality itself around her. To the left, Gorgon, a serpentine deity whose terrifying power was visual. To the right, Abyss, 100-meter-high hollow armored armor with the sun-devouring scythe. And finally, Ruin, a quadruple beast of pure kinetic energy. "You're all alone, Yami, and you smell like light. Where's Ize, stupid piece of rock?" "Dead. Removed from the equation. The Saiyan. Goku. It is not a simple receptacle. He assimilated the essence of Boros. He has reached the state of a perfect angel. His light. Absolute." A murmur of disbelief and rage went through Gorgon, Abyss, and Ruin. Chaos floated forward, the temperature of the pit dropping to absolute zero under the pressure of the purple key. "A perfect angel. A mortal ape playing of the supreme law. Ize was an arrogant asshole and his brute strength useful. If we fight with that light head on right now, we might share its pathetic fate."
Are you suggesting that we go into hiding, Chaos? We have waited eons for this revenge.
I'm not suggesting cowardice, Gorgon. I suggest strategy. Daishinkan and his lapdogs are already looking for our key signatures. That angel is untouchable in a direct one-on-one combat. But he has the heart of a mortal. His mind is divine, but his soul is tied to the filth of the lower existence. Chaos purple aura expanded, projecting holographic images from 3 different universes. "We will not attack the angel. We will attack his bonds. We'll split the board. We will destroy universes 6, 7, and 11 simultaneously. If your mind is so perfect, you will feel every death, every cry of agony from your loved ones. We'll force him to split up. We will force him to choose who to save and who to die. In that fracture of his will, we will annihilate him." Yami smiled maliciously, gaining her composure. A symphony of destruction. Marvelous. Universe 11, headquarters of the Pride Troops. The red sky of the base planet turned from an unfathomable black. The multiversal alarm was blaring at full volume. Jiren the Grey was standing at the main square, flanked by Toppo and Dispo. From the clouds, Abyss descended. Immense hollow armor landed noiselessly, but the passive shockwave disintegrated the Citadel's energy shields. For justice! We won't allow an ancient evil to desecrate our universe! Haki! Toppo launched a gigantic sphere of destructive energy, powered by his god candidate power. The sphere hit Abyss's chest. The armor didn't flinch. Abyss raised his scythe, and a slow, lazy motion cuts through the air. Toppo's Haki energy split in half and dissipated like smoke. He's too fast for that! Be careful! Jiren didn't say a word. His red aura burst out, cracking the ground. He lunged at Abyss with a punch loaded with the weight of unwavering strength, directly hitting the helmet of the armor. The impact generated a pressure tornado. Abyss took a step half back, but from the inside of the helmet, a dead light shone. This monster, he's not alive. Universe 6, Planet Sadala. Chaos reigned. The sky was a sickly green with toxic clouds. Gorgon and Ruin had landed directly in the Saiyan's home planet. Hit, the legendary assassin was on his knees, coughing up blood. Khalifa, Kale, and Kaba lay on the ground shattered. Super Saiyan transformations undone. Jump in time. Hit attempted to freeze time for the 10th of a second to deliver a fatal blow to Gorgon's neck. But when he entered his temporal dimension, the 1,000 eyes of the Divine Serpent looked at him directly. Time began to rot, turning liquid and burning Hit, forcing him to come out of his technique in pain. Pathetic. Time is an invention for the weak. Dastardly. Get rid of these primates. May Universe 6 be the first to burn. Ruin roared and began to accumulate a sphere of kinetic energy, so massive the planet Sadala began to fall out of orbit. Earth's perfect blue sky disappeared in an instant, replaced by purple toxic swirls and black lightning. The global temperature dropped 20 degrees in a single second. Vegeta was in the courtyard of the Capsule Corporation looking up. His face, usually scowling but controlled, showed alarm. Gohan by his side felt the monstrous drop in pressure, landed quickly and followed by Goten. Mr. Vegeta, did you feel that? It's the whole universe crying. It's horrible energy, worse than Majin Buu's, worse than anything. My chest hurts just from breathing it in. Don't just stand there, you idiots. Raise your ki to the max, now! At the top, the dimensional gap opened wide. Chaos and Yami slowly descended. The mere presence of Chaos's purple aura caused the planets in the garden to wither and turn into ashes. The windows of nearby buildings exploded into dust. Vegeta activated his Ultra Ego immediately. Hair bristled and turned a deep violet, aura roaring in the defiance of Chaos. Gohan was in beast mode, white hair bristling and red eyes with fury. Goten went straight to Super Saiyan. Look at them, Yami. The fake angel's favorite toys. So fragile, so insignificant. I'm asking for the guy with the white hair. He seems to have a lot of fire inside. Vegeta with the old gods and the boys. Gohan, Goten, back up! These guys aren't like Frieza or Moro. There's something that doesn't belong to this reality. Prince Vegeta, you have touched the power of destruction, but you are a child playing with candle fire in front of a collapsing sun. I'm going to erase this planet slowly. I want to make sure Goku hears every scream of agony. You won't delete anything in my presence. Final glow! Vegeta fired his most devastating attack at point-blank range. Chaos didn't raise a hand. The golden lightning struck the ancient god's purple aura and was absorbed, fueling the intensity of his monstrous ki. Chaos smiled without a mouth. Nice trick. My turn. Meanwhile, the remnants of the glacier planet Goku was suspended in the void, surrounded by stardust and the frozen remains of the planet he had just saved. Silver eyes open, staring into nothing but seeing everything. In the perfect angel state, omniscience was not a spell activated. It was a natural state. You could hear the rustling of the leaves on the planet of thousands of galaxies. But now, that omniscience was a curse. Goku felt Jiren's ki being crushed in Universe 11, hits despair in the destruction of planet Sadala in Universe 6, and overwhelming a toxic purple energy of chaos on Earth, suffocating Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten. The harmonic sound of his halo hummed, losing a fraction of its perfect rhythm.
This is the weight of divinity, Goku. Mortals run towards danger one at a time. An angel must watch over the whole. If you intervene in one universe, the other two will be annihilated. You are witnessing the futility of your attachments.
Goku closed his eyes. Voices of friends, cries of effort and pain struck his mind. They're right. Chaos is smart. If I go to Earth, Sadala and Jiren die. If I go to Universe 11, Earth disappears. The white light around Goku pulsed. It wasn't instability, it was absolute concentration of a force that defied Daishenkin's understanding. Beerus told me to be the void that contains the universe. But I'm not just the vessel. I'm the warrior who defends him. If I can't be in 3 places at once, then I'll break the rule of space and time. Goku raised his staff. The gem on the tip shone with intensity. The celestial blue halo rotated at an incalculable speed, expanding like a planetary ring around it. Daishenkin thinks I know my limits. Chaos thinks he's cornered me. They forgot one thing. Goku opened his eyes. Silver in the pupils burned with a cold, absolute fire. I am Son Goku. I always break my limits. The white light exploded, devouring the stars around him. Perfect angel prepared to perform an act that would make pillars of Zeno-sama's palace shake. The silence in the northern sector of Universe 7 was spherical. Goku, suspended in the cosmic void of the glacier planet once existed, kept his silver eyes closed. His mind, now expanded to omniscient levels, was a real-time map of multiversal agony. He could feel the toxic and suffocating purple energy of chaos crushing Earth. He could hear Jiren's armor creaking under Abyss's scythe in Universe 11. He could see time itself was rotting around Hit in Universe 6.
Choose anomaly. A god of destruction sacrifices planets for balance. An angel observes extinction with total neutrality. If you try to save them all, you will lose control of your essence. He accepts death of mortals, for his time is ethereal.
Goku opened his eyes. Silver in the pupil shone with an intensity that threatened to tear the fabric of reality. Its sky blue halo, previously spinning with a majestic calm, began to buzz with a sharp, almost painful sound. Daishenkin, you angels were born perfect. They were born with nothing to lose. I was born a lower-class mortal. I became strong by protecting others. I'm not going to choose who lives and dies.
Don't commit a heresy, Goku. Divine divinity is to fracture zero. If you break your soul, your existence will be erased. Not even the Super Dragon Balls can bring you back.
If I have to disappear so my children and friends live, so be it. Goku spread his legs in the void and brought his hands together at the center of his chest, right over his heart where Beerus' light was beating strongly. Ah! Goku's scream was not a physical sound, but a spiritual shockwave that swept through the 12 universes. His body began to glow with a light so pure and blinding, it obscured the surrounding stars. The pain was indescribable. Goku felt the concept of his being, his memories, his power, his consciousness, pulled in opposite directions. His divine skin cracked, emitting flashes of light through the fissures. Sky blue halo over his head shook violently. And suddenly, the sound of the shattering of the cosmic crystal, the halo split into 3 pieces. The light burst. When the flash dissipated, there was no longer a single Goku in the void. There were 3. 3 perfect angels. 3 incarnations of the absolute light. Their skin showed faint golden cracks, and each wore only a third of the original halo, floating unsteadily over their heads. They achieved the impossible, the angelic trinity. Resist, Vegeta! I'm coming, Jiren! Hit, don't give up! In perfect synchronicity, the 3 divine avatars disappeared using a simultaneous dimensional transmission. On Earth, the sky was a sickly purple. Black lightning fell, disintegrating buildings. Chaos, the god of destruction of Universe 16, floated with an absolute arrogance, his antimatter body pulsating with toxicity. Vegeta, in the Ultra Ego state, lay embedded in the crater floor, armor shattered, body in burns that wouldn't heal. Next to him, Gohan and Beast Mode and Goten and Super Saiyan were firing desperate ki blasts just to bounce off Chaos's aura.
It's not working, brother! Our attacks don't touch it! It doesn't matter, Goten! We have to protect our family! Spiral of Chaos!
Gohan's piercing beam hit directly on Chaos's chest. The ancient god sighed, and the purple aura absorbed the energy of the attack, becoming bigger. What a bore. Her despair doesn't taste as sweet as she hoped. It's time to clear this mud sphere. Yami, watch how this universe is silenced! Chaos held up a hand. A giant sphere of energy of destruction formed, sucking the Earth's atmosphere. The planet's gravity was altered, lifting oceans and mountains into the sky.
Damn it! Kakarot, where the hell are you?
Disappear! Chaos launched the apocalyptic sphere towards Earth. Gohan and Goten stood in front of Vegeta, crossing their arms in one last futile attempt to stop the inevitable. But it never came. A flash of white light tore through the purple sky like a divine sword. The immense sphere of destruction of Chaos stopped a few meters from Gohan. It didn't explode, he was simply frozen in time and space.
What? Who dares to interfere with my will?
In front of Gohan, Goten, and Vegeta, turning his back to them, a figure in red and gold ceremonial robes appeared. Hair silvery white, floating majestically. He held up a single finger, and with a touch of light, the immense sphere of chaos shrank until it disappeared into nothingness.
Dad?
Impossible. His ki doesn't exist, but his presence is overwhelming. What have you done to yourself, Kakarot?
Goku turned slightly, looking at them with silver liquid eyes. The golden cracks on his face throbbed every second.
They did it right. At ease. I'll take care of this junk. False angel, how is that possible? If you are here, Universe 6s and 11 are annihilated now. You're wrong. My body and mind are exactly where they need to be. Everywhere.
For his part, in Universe 11, Jiren was on his knees, red and black uniform shredded, breathing heavy. In front, a hollowed armor titan Abyss raising his immense sun-devouring scythe. Toppo and Dispo were unconscious in the rubble. Jiren didn't have the strength for one last blow. He clenched his fist, stared directly at the void in Abyss's helmet, refusing to show fear.
The end of justice.
The scythe descended at a supersonic speed, aiming at the Grey Warrior's neck. A shockwave crushed the ground within the radius of 100 kilometers. Jiren didn't feel the cut. He opened his eyes and saw red boots stopping the edge of the scythe. Goku, his robe billowing in a third halo, glowing brightly, holding the weight of death in one leg and hands relaxed at his side.
Are they Goku?
You're still as stubborn as ever, Jiren. I'm glad you didn't close your eyes.
How do you have the strength to stop my scythe?
Goku simply pushed with his foot, the force so inordinately perfect that Abyss, the 100-meter armor, flew backwards, crashing onto the warships in the atmosphere.
Because your scythe cuts matter. I'm not made of that anymore.
Meanwhile, on the planet of the Saiyans, the air was rotten. Khalifa and Kale were about to lose consciousness due to the toxicity of the environment. Gorgon, a thousand-eyed divine serpent, was preparing to inject his conceptual venom into Hit's body. Above, Ruin just released the gigantic sphere that would push Sadala out of her orbit, dooming all Saiyans in the universe to freeze to death the void.
The universe of disgusting monkeys minus.
Suddenly, in space in front of the kinetic sphere flickered. Goku 3 appeared directly in the collision course. He didn't try to stop her with a Kamehameha. He simply placed the palm of his open hand against the giant mass of energy.
You idiot! You'll crush you in subparticles!
Vector reversal.
The impact didn't occur. The kinetic sphere bounced off Goku 3's hand with double the speed, shooting back into deep space, directly hitting Ruin, who was sent flying out of the galaxy with a roar of pain. Gorgon froze. The deity's thousand eyes focused on the silvery figure gently descending towards the toxic ground.
Goku, your ki. What happened?
Goku landed. With just one step, a wave of purifying light expanded from the sole of his boot, sweeping away Gorgon's poison and putrefaction, giving Sadala her pure air back in a matter of seconds.
Sorry I'm late, Hit. I had to take a complicated shortcut.
Daishaka was watching the 3 holographic screens floating in front. Violet eyes were wide with amazement and utter condemnation. Whis, Vados, and Marcita had been summoned and were watching the screens in silence. Father, Goku, him.
He has done it. He has fragmented the absolute zero. He is in 3 different universes, manifesting the power of a perfect angel in one.
But his original mortal body, the golden cracks in the skin. Father, he's bleeding out spiritually. The essence of Boros is leaking into the void through those fractures.
It's a walking paradox. He's using an infinite power, divided into 3 equal parts. Mathematically, spiritually, it's impossible. If one of those avatars suffers damage that breaks their connection, all 3 will collapse instantly.
If he survives the battle, the wear and tear of the maintaining the angelic trinity will erase your soul from existence. There'll be nothing left to go to in the next world. It'll be nothing.
Daishinkan turned his back on the holograms. He expressed hardened completely.
The law must prevail. If the entities of the past fail to eliminate it, I have to personally intervene before their instability destroys the fabric of reality. Zeno-sama must not be disturbed.
Chaos was furious. The purple aura expanded, obscuring the sun and transforming the entire environment into a toxic nightmare. Yami hid in the shadows, terrified by Goku 1's passive pressure.
To divide your soul. This is the most arrogant and stupid act I've ever seen. If I kill you here, the other 2 will die.
Goku 1 walked towards Chaos. Every stop he took made the golden cracks of his skin glow with unbearable pain. His face didn't show emotion. It was pure serenity of emptiness.
You're scared, Chaos, because you realize something. Scared of a broken mortal? I will erase you with my own hands.
Chaos lunged at Goku, wrapping his fist in the destructive matter of 1,000 black suns. Goku paused, waiting for the impact, his voice echoing in all 3 universes at the same time.
I'm not divided, Chaos. I'm multiplied.
The clash of the gods was about to fracture reality itself. The Earth of Universe 7 was trembling under the pressure of 2 forces that exceeded the comprehension of matter. Chaos, the god of destruction of Universe 16, an abyss of purple antimatter that devoured light in its path. And Goku 1, a perfect avatar of the angelic light whose presence purified corrupted air. In the distance, Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten watched the scene, paralyzed. Even in their most powerful forms, they couldn't approach the radius of the battle without their cells starting to disintegrate due to the cosmic friction.
Don't ignore me, you ape with a halo. I am Chaos, the prelude to the end.
Chaos condensed all the toxicity of his being in 2 hands. The sky above Earth collapsed, revealing the black void of space. A hurricane of purple energy swirled, forming a hyperdense sphere of a small moon. It wasn't a small key attack. It was the vacuum supernova, an attack designed to erase concepts, not planets.
Let me live next to this galaxy.
Chaos launched a colossal attack towards Goku 1. The speed distorted time, causing a floating debris around it to freeze midair. Goku didn't adopt any combat posture. His liquid silver eyes watched death approach with a terrifying peace. The golden cracks on his face shone brightly, leaking a little of his divine essence.
Your hatred's loud, Chaos, but the universe prefers silence.
Goku raised his right hand. He didn't close a fist or channel a Kamehameha. He simply extended his index finger and touched the surface of the vacuum supernova. The sound disappeared from Universe 7. Upon contact with the finger of the perfect angel, the colossal purple sphere stopped, advancing, and there was no massive explosion or clash of titanic powers. Instead, the purple color turned white, spreading from the point of contact like ice over a lake.
What? What are you doing with my destruction?
Divine absolution. The entire sphere turned white, and in the blink of an eye shrank to the size of a crystal marble before vanishing into thin air with a gentle tinkle. Chaos recoiled, terror taking hold of his primal self for the first time in eons. He looked at his hand, which was beginning to glow with a white light coming from inside.
No! I am eternal! I am the one who devours! You can't erase me!
I've already done that. Chaos's antimatter body fractured like a mirror.
beams of angelic light shot out from the cracks. The most powerful ancient god let out a heart-rending roar that made the entire multiverse vibrate before bursting into a million plumes of light that rained down on Earth, intensely purifying the atmosphere. Chaos, the terror of Universe 16, ceased to exist. The echo of the annihilation of chaos instantly traveled through the interdimensional barriers. In Universe 6, Gorgon, the thousand-eyed serpent, dropped hit, backing away with a hiss of pure panic. Ruin howled in terror in deep space. Abyss's hollow armor trembled violently in front of Goku 2 and Jiren. On Earth, hidden in the shadows of the shattered mountain, Yami fell to her knees, vomiting green smoke. Chaos is down! His signature is erased from the fabric of reality! His Saiyan annihilated him without moving a muscle! Gorgon's voice echoed in his mind, filled with silent panic.
That damn light will reach us! The false angel is in 3 places at once! Yes, Chaos. The strongest of us couldn't handle the third of his power. The hunt is over. We are prey.
Yami gritted her teeth. Eyes flashed out of the corners of the madness like a beast in the brink of slaughter.
No, I won't return to limbo of the lost. I will not be immortal to judge. Brothers, we have one option. The forbidden ritual.
There was a heavy, terrified, telepathic silence.
But that would mean... It will mean we will die as individuals, but live as an embodied annihilation. Start the convergence.
Universe 6, Gorgon and Ruin exploded the pillars of dark energy that pierced the sky. In Universe 11, Abyss abandoned his colossal armor, turning into a torrent of dead light that shattered space. On Earth, Yami dug his own fiery hands into his chest, immolating the being of black flames. The 4 signatures of the old gods disappeared their universes. Goku was floating on Earth, but his expression was tranquil. The cracks in his skin bled a golden ichor. His halo fragmented flickered violently. Universes 6 and 11, Goku 2 and 3 fell to their knees, spitting out divine blood.
This energy, it doesn't come from any universe. It comes from everywhere.
In outer space, right in Earth's orbit of Universe 7, reality screamed. No ordinary dimensional tear, like canvas on the universe, was painted with burning from behind. A vortex of absolute nothingness opened up. Out of that madness, something emerged. You couldn't look directly. When Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten tried to focus their eyes on the sky, their minds almost collapsed. The entity lacked a form that mortal or divine geometry could process. His simple presence defied logic, matter, light, and darkness. It was an open wound in existence, a conceptual weight so massive that nearby stars began to turn off instantly. The voice spoke, not transmitted over air, but directly into the foundations of the cosmos, like a crying of billion dead planets mixed with apathy in the infinite abyss.
I am Archon.
Just by pronouncing his name, Earth's orbit was deflected. The atmosphere evaporated. Universe 7 shrank by passive attraction of the merged beasts. Goku gasped. The pressure was unbearable. It was the power that made chaos look like a simple insect. As if his 2 avatars stayed in their universes, they would be passively erased. Hit Jiren! Time's up! In an act of instinctual survival, Goku 2 and 3 disappeared from Universes 6 and 11 in the flash of desperate light. On Earth, 2 avatars appeared next to Goku, and 3 collided with each other, fusing their fragmented essences together again. The light burst out strongly, but when it dissipated, the figure of the perfect angel was severely diminished. Goku was panting heavily. The halo was attached again, but full of cracks and barely shone. Robe torn, skin showing horrible scars of having fractured his own soul. Archon, that thing's not alive. It's a cancer that feeds on its own existence. Dad, your key, it's like it's turning off.
Kakarot, get out of here. That thing is going to disintegrate the solar system by existing.
Archon made no move. He simply advanced conceptually. The space between Earth and the moon crumpled like paper. Gravity collapsed. Oceans began to fill with the stratosphere. Goku extended his staff, forcing every drop of Boros essence, and had left to create an angelic barrier and protected the planet. Ah! A white barrier collided with Archon's inevitable pressure. Divine blood gushed from Goku's eyes and mouth. His knees began to give way. No matter how perfect his state was, his mortal vessel was damaged by the soul division, couldn't contain the power needed to stop the apocalypse.
The light is going out. Existence is a mistake. I am the correction.
Goku's staff began to crack. It's over! I can't! Hold it! I'm sorry, guys! Goku's white light barrier was a millisecond away from breaking. But then, absolute chaos met with supreme order. Time stopped. Oceans floating in the sky froze like crystal sculptures. Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten were petrified in the middle of a scream. Even Archon's unfathomable pressure found a wall that couldn't go right through. In front of Goku, bathing in the battlefield in a pale violet light, a tiny figure descended in infinite authority. The High Priest Daishoken appeared with his arms folded in his back, an expression of coldness and severity. Daishoken? Daishoken didn't look at Goku. His violet eyes were fixed on the apparition floating in outer space.
The law decrees that angels should not intervene in the survival or extinction of mortals. However, this entity transgresses the limits of creation. His mere presence threatens to disturb Zeno-sama's sacred sleep, and that is unforgivable.
Archon sensed the threat, focused all his incomprehensible annihilation towards the High Priest. The space between them boiled, turning into plasma. Daishoken didn't back down. An angelic aura of overwhelming power, infinite superiority, and denser than anything Goku or Whis has seen enveloped his small body. Daishoken turned slightly to look at Goku over his shoulder.
Son Goku, your heresy of fracturing Absolute Zero and usurping a divine throne will be severely judged. Perhaps you will be erased by my own hands when this is over.
Daishoken materialized a staff that shone with the light of 1,000 galaxies.
But for now, the king absolutely needs his garden to be cleared of this weed. Get up, you false angel. Today, you will fight at the side of the great priest.
Goku, spitting the last drop of golden blood, smiled slightly. With a superhuman effort, he stood, white aura blending with the majestic violet light of Daishoken in front of the end of time. Time was still frozen on Earth, but the cosmic pressure crushing Universe 7 was unbearable. Archon was not an enemy that could be beaten. He was an error in the code of existence, a conceptual sink that devoured light, matter, and the very meaning of life. In front of this apparition, the only two entities capable of moving in stop time floated. Daishoken, the great priest, radiating a majestic violet light, and Son Goku, the perfect angel, whose mortal body was on the verge of collapse under the weight of his fractured divinity. Archon didn't roar. He didn't attack with ki spheres. He existed more strongly. The space around the entity collapsed inward. A sphere of absolute annihilation, silent and hungry, began to expand, threatening to swallow not only the solar system, but the fabric of the 12 universes simultaneously.
It's useless. The angelic hierarchy was created to govern matter and spirit. But this thing, Archon, is the negation of both. It's the antimatter of the soul. My light imposes law, but Archon is the absence.
If your light can't get through, my punches go through him without hurting him. What do we do? I'm not going to let him swallow my family. Daishoken looked at Goku in the corner of his eye. He observed golden cracks in the Saiyan's skin, the divine blood that stained his torn tunic, the sky blue halo that, despite being broken, was still spinning with an indomitable will.
Angels were born in perfection, Goku. We don't know the effort or the pain or the loss of fear. That's why we're predictable for primordial chaos. You are a mortal who reached absolute zero. You're a paradox. You know the despair of the mud and the purity of the stars.
Goku smiled faintly, not taking his eyes off the annihilation sphere that was expanding towards them. I've always been told I'm weird. You got a plan, Daishoken? Daishoken lowered his cosmic staff and left it floating beside him and turned completely to Goku.
The only way to destroy Archon is to rewrite reality at the exact point of its core. To do this, we need a power that belongs to the absolute jurisdiction of the King of All, guided by the irrational will of a mortal who refuses to surrender. They are Goku. I will lend you my authority.
Goku opened his eyes. Your authority? I can barely contain the power of Beerus. My body's going to explode.
It won't. I combine that vessel that destabilizes your soul, and you will be the cannon that fires our power. Turn your Saiyan instinct into an arrow, and my omnipotence into the bow.
Archon seems to sense the threat. The Annihilation Sphere accelerated its expansion, devouring the lunar orbit in the blink of an eye. Absolute darkness fell upon them.
Now, there, Goku, don't think about destroying, think about creating.
Goku lowered his eyes. Daishenkin's hand shone with a violet light so intense the entire universe seemed to hold its breath. That pure light flowed into Goku's interior, merging with the essence of Boros and the mortal key that was still beating in his heart. The pain disappeared. The golden cracks in Goku's skin were closed, sealed by the power of the High Priest. Its broken sky blue halo was repaired at all once, but this time, a second ring of a deep violet began to revolve around the first. Goku opened his eyes. No longer liquid silver, they were galaxies in constant birth and expansion. He reached a state of absolute understanding, supported by the shoulder of the most powerful deity of the cosmos. Goku put his wrists together on his side in the classic posture of Master Roshi had taught him. The energy was accumulating between his hands and was not a simple Kamehameha. It was the Genesis itself. A sphere containing the colors of all universes, vibrating with the singing of billions of souls, was formed in his palms. Archon, you have no place in this multiverse, because this place, it's full of life!
Decree the supreme creation.
Pay! Archon's Annihilation Sphere was an inch away from Goku's face. The cold at the end of time caressed his divine skin. Goku pushed his hand forward. Daishenkin released 100% of the containment barrier, channeling everything through the Saiyan's arm. A torrent of rainbow light, blinding and deafening, shot out. Not a ray of destruction, of pure reality. When Genesis Kamehameha crashed into Archon, there was no violent explosion. The ineffable darkness of Archon forced to absorb the infinite light of creation. The aberration twisted conceptually, trying to devour the light, but it was too much. It was the combined will of the High Priest and the stubborn mortal in history.
The existence, it burns!
The black hole was Archon beginning to fill up. The structure collapsed from the inside out, being forcibly rewritten. In a matter of seconds, the primordial entity crumbled into harmless light particles that rained down on Universe 7, restoring the moon and purifying the Earth's atmosphere instantly. Archon was erased. The primordial convergence was no longer existing. Goku's flood of light slowly dissipated. The Saiyan, panting, dropped his arms. The second the violet halo disappeared and Daishenkin withdrew his hand from his shoulder, time began to flow again. Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten abruptly thawed, falling to their knees, breathing hard, not quite understanding what happened, but feeling that suffocating pressure had disappeared from the universe. Goku turned to Daishenkin, falling sitting up in the air, completely exhausted, but with a genuine smile. Wow, now that was intense. I thought we were going to turn into cosmic dust for a second. Thanks for the help, Daishenkin. The High Priest looked at Goku in silence, his face inscrutable.
Don't celebrate so fast, Goku. We saved existence, but you're still a mortal who stole an angel's throne and divided his own soul. That is heresy that the law of the King of the Whole punishes with immediate annihilation.
Vegeta, hearing from below, gritted his teeth and rose shakily towards them.
Wait a minute. Kakarot just risked his life to save this pathetic universe. If you lay a finger on him, I swear.
Stop, Vegeta. He's right. I broke the rules. I know that since I accepted the power of Boros. Goku stood up, floating with dignity, and closed his eyes, preparing for the end. Do it, Daishenkin. I don't regret anything. I was able to protect my family once again. Daishenkin held up his hand, index finger glowing with the light of erasure. Vegeta screamed. Gohan tried to fly towards them, but an invisible barrier stopped them. Daishenkin's finger touched Goku's forehead. There was no pain, there was no annihilation. Instead of erasing him, a burst of warm and comforting energy flooded Goku's body. Their torn clothes transformed into some ceremonial robes of immaculate white and deep crimson and golden edges. A new symbol, representing an infinity intertwined with a star, appeared on his chest. Its sky blue halo stabilized, shining with perfection I'd never had before. Goku opened his eyes, confused. Huh? I'm alive? Why do I feel so complete? Daishinkan lowered his hand, and for the first time since the crisis began, a tiny, almost imperceptible smile crossed his pale face.
The law dictates that heresy should be punished, but wisdom dictates that a closed system that does not evolve ends up collapsing. Today, you've shown me that the perfection of angels has a blind spot: lack of will.
Daishinkan looked out in the cosmos.
By destroying chaos in Archon, the space occupied by the first 6 forbidden universes has been emptied and purified. That space needs a guardian, not a simple destroyer, not a predictable angel. He needs someone who understands the value of mortal life and the responsibility of divine power.
Goku blinked, processing the information. Wait, what are you saying?
Son Goku, by your sacrifice, your willpower, and your ability to maintain balance in despair, I absolve you of your crimes. From this moment on, I, the High Priest, officially name you the Sacred Angel of the 18 Universes.
Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten were speechless.
I will continue to be the absolute law and the King's shield at all in the palace, but you'll be the sword that patrols the vast ocean of reality. You're free to live on Earth or wherever you wish, but when the multiverse cries, it'll be your duty to respond. You are the bridge between mortals and gods.
Goku looked at his clothes, feeling the perfect and unlimited power flowing through his simple veins, without destroying him. He had reached the top. No longer a simple warrior looking for fights, he was the protector of existence itself. Goku looked at Vegeta and his children, giving them the classic smile, now combined with the serenity of an angel. Then he looked at Daishinkan and nodded with deep respect. I accept the position. I promise I won't let anyone threaten peace that we've worked so hard to achieve. Although, does this mean I'll no longer be able to participate in the terrestrial martial arts tournaments? Daishinkan let out a soft, elegant laugh that baffled everyone present.
I think with your position, you'll have a slight unfair advantage, Goku. May peace be with you.
With a violent flash, the High Priest disappeared, and returning to Zeno-sama's palace. The blue sky and the earth shone again in all its splendor. Goku, the new sacred angel, slowly descended towards his family and his eternal rival, ready to start a new chapter, not only in his life, but in the history of the entire multiverse. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture. What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves! With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth. Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. Ha 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 ha! But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power! In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression. Interesting, but not enough. The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail. Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us! Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile. though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z-Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god. Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z-Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed this situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed.
Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together. For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration. "We're making progress, Vegeta!"
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors. "Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!" The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
"Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!" In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves. Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined. In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. the battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds. "Gah! This can't be so strong!" Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
"This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan."
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
"Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!"
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes. "Brother, are you alright?"
"Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this."
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
"We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?"
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
"I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him." "Surprise him, you say?"
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
"Ready to give this guy a surprise!"
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
"Here I come!"
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
"Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?"
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
"Come on! It can't be!"
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
"Gotenks! This is worse than we thought."
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
"Ha ha ha ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power."
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
"What is this? A new trick?"
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.